Hello, my name is Angela Liddicoat, and I was, or actually I still am because I have it all in here still, a teaching of reading expert. Now, I think a lot of you will be getting stressed because obviously the majority of you are not trained teachers, but you know your children, and if you're getting help from the school as to what you have to teach, you can tailor it to your child. It's like when you go to the doctor, you know your child best, actually. So if you can work out the way they think and try to teach them to match the way they think, they're actually going to have a pretty good lesson, okay? Now, I'll tell you how I started teaching, okay? Now, before that, I will tell you what you can, and I feel you must do. And that is to keep your child's reading going. Slowly going along, building up, so that you are taking them from what in the beginning looks like a piece of Chinese writing to them, right up through to words like technician, beautician, furniture, so on, things like that. Okay, so you've got to get from A to Z, really. It's quite a task, but you do it little by little. If you build up, and the way I used to teach was just that. I'd only introduce some new vocabulary every so often. They'd have a chance to learn that vocabulary by playing a game, and then they would get the story and so on. So that you try to make them successful. We all have to fail in life now and again, and that's where you learn. I always taught my class that you will make mistakes. Don't get unduly upset about them. Learn from them, and that's the way I learn. I will make mistakes sometimes. I will call out the wrong name, somebody talking, and we all do it. So, put the mistake right and learn from it. So don't let your children get anxious, and teach in a way that they can be successful. And I'll explain that in a moment, okay? Now, I'm really here advertising the fact that I have a friend and he has offered to digitalize my teaching material, and so I'm getting it up onto a website. As you can see, I'm no spring chicken now, so I only get so much done in a day, especially post-ops that I've been having. But I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to take the advice I'm giving you little by little. I'm going to give him the work, and he can get it up on the website. Now, what is the website going to be called? Let me show you. Because Easy Reading, which was my trade name 30 years ago, I've had to find another one. And so I'm calling it Read Easy, Spell Well. It should be, of course, grammatically, Read Easily, because it's an adjective explaining it. But because it's a bit more catchy, I've gone for Read It Easy, Spell Well, and the spelling will come along, and you can play games from the reading material. So that's what you look out for. It will be 2 or 3 weeks' time, but it's on the way, okay? Now, let me tell you that you need patience, obviously. You must be patient. And the reason I'm so hooked on children keeping the reading going and taking their reading past reading age 9, which is about the level of the Sun newspaper, get it up to 10, 11, 12, so on, 14, get them up so that they really read. And it's very important. Now, we used to go to the library. My mother took 3 of us. We went to the library on Monday, got books. We're back on Wednesday to change them and choose more books and bigger books take us over the weekend. Now, if you can find a library, I don't suppose you can go at the moment anyway, but later on when things, if you can find a library, use them. Use them. They are great. Now, if you keep your reading going and you've got behind with study, or later on you're in a job and you want to change jobs, you can book in with the Open University, you can go on to YouTube, you can teach yourself all sorts of things, but you need to be a good reader. Now, you might be one of those people who's not very gifted in that way, but you're very talented in art. You're going to be a designer, a painter, all the wonderful things that we rely on the artistic people to do, to design our curtains, our carpets, shape of the beds, everything. Then you still need English O-level to get into most colleges. So keep that reading going. It is so important. Later on, of course, you've got to have self-determination to do it. You've got to be motivated and you've got to have self-discipline. And you can start that as you're teaching at home now, around the kitchen table. Give the children their instructions, write it on a card. If you've got a little board, so much the better. And you say, now look, I'm going off to peel the potatoes, or I'm going off to change the baby's nappy, whatever. You read that through at least twice. And I've already explained it, but you read it twice, and if necessary, read it 3 times. And then if you really can't do it, then I will come and help you. So you start teaching them to think for themselves. My first class I walked in and I had 40 children there, 40 7-year-olds. Yes, 40, okay? So I had to have 6 tables with 6 on. You imagine 6 tables with 6 children on each one, and a table near me with 4, and that was my 40, okay? Now on that table of 4, I had a gifted child, so I had to set work for him the night before. I had a little girl who could barely hear me. They say she had partial hearing or something. In my head I said deaf, because that made me think she can't hear me. So I had to have her sitting so she could lip read. And I had a little boy who'd had heart surgery and so on, and he was on a catch-up program, okay? And then I have one that was maladjusted, who used to run around all the tops of the desks in the middle of the lesson, and, so, when you think you're hard done by with 2 or 3 children, or how many you've decided to have, it's not so bad. Really, it's not so bad. So, anyway, reading is the main issue, I think. I could talk about maths, but I'm a specialist in English first and foremost, okay? So I'm going to stick to that. So first of all, you have to see that they know the sounds. If you've got a little one, write down as a starting reading, bless them. You have to make sure that they know the name of the letter. You colour in around the outside here, record achievement, and the sound of the letter, so that you fill in the centre. So this little child knows that the sound is H, but she has not yet realised or gotten in her memory that the name of the letter is I am letter H. So she knows it's H. Here, this one, she knows I am letter M, and my sound is M, mum, mummy, okay? Now, I would have a good old go at reading words if they've got enough as that. This one I wouldn't yet. I'd keep her going a little bit more. She needs to get enough to form a few words. You can't, she hasn't got a verb for bag. Yes, you could do bat. Could you do fat? Yes, you could do fat. Sat. Okay, you could make a little tiny start, but she needs to know much more. Okay, so I shall be putting up my alphabet book. It will be loaded up, a whole alphabet book. That was one of my books. I did 7. I'll go through them as quickly as I can. The accurate alphabet, okay? So in that alphabet book are some lovely colourings, because at that stage they need to develop and improve their hand-eye coordination. So look at that one, fish, fur. Okay, fish, fur. You can't go wrong if you do it that way round, not the way we did it in school. You say, tells you, say, fish, fur. Now that way, you're not just saying to the child, what sound is that? What letter is that? What sound is that? And they t. You've got, and it's not. It doesn't matter. You don't say no. That's wrong. Obviously, you shouldn't do that. But you can't say it's right. So you have to say, I think we need to look at that one again. That child knows that it hasn't got it right. But if you say, and you keep saying fish, fish, you can feel the fur. Fish, you can feel it here. You can see the fur. Okay. You can hear the fur. You put the whole thing together. It is fail-safe. Fish, fur. And one day they will just look at that without all that, and they'll say, I know that one, that's fur. Okay? So that is the way we do that one. Look at this one. Mouse. You see? Say, mouse. You feel it, see it, hear it. Windmill, work. Uniform, you. And so on. I call it the accurate alphabet. That is because in some books, instead of gate or goat or girl, they say giraffe. They have a giraffe. Well, giraffe says j. Obviously it says j, because in giraffe the I comes and softens the g to j. But that's much later on in reading. We don't need that yet. We need a good old g, because we've already got our j, jam, j. That's why I say it's accurate. I don't have jam, j in it, and giraffe, j, because you've got 2 j's. Well, where's your g gone? It's not accurate. You will see it in lots of alphabet books. So therefore, look at that. Isn't that lovely? Say, apple, apple, here, see, feel, okay? Now, the next thing is the book that I wrote is called Blends, okay? Now, it's got a game in the back. It's also got a record of achievement to fill in and so on. And it's got lovely colouring pictures, because they're still at that age of needing eye and hand coordination. Now, a lot of children, when they're doing the F and the R, they say fur, fur. And that again is not correct. But if you say frog, frog, you're going to get a fr. Okay, and that is a whole book, and games at the back, and bingo, and all, you know, however you'd like to do it. Sweets, sw. Snail, sn. Okay, not snuff for snail. No, we're not playing a guessing game. We want them to get the sound here. Snail, sn. Okay, I won't say it again, but it's multi-sensory teaching. You are catering for a child who uses a visual memory more. You're catering for a child who perhaps uses his auditory memory more. You're catering for the child who's going to be a designer later, who goes by pictures, pictorial memory. You're catering for children or people, or adults still learning to read, who use a little bit of everything. Okay, the next book I wrote, and this will be online as well for you, are words that sound the same, but are spelt differently in order to give a different meaning, okay? So would and would. Well, it's I would if I could, and I know that I should, okay, that would, or a wood of trees. It's spelled very differently in order to convey meaning. It also deals with there and there belonging there, jumpers, or put something over their place. It gives you pictures to do that. And two and two and two. TWO, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? I'm going to the shops, I'm going to school, just TO. But where there's a feeling of extraness, someone is not just fat, they are too fat. Look at the clown, see the size of him. He's too fat to jump over the gate, okay? This clown is too tired. He's not just tired, he's too tired to get out of bed. There's a feeling of extraness. He's extra tired. He's extra big. So give it an extra O, okay? So all those ideas are in there. Then I wrote another book. There I am again on the back, okay? I showed you the picture. And these are mnemonics for children who perhaps spell does, D-U-Z. They spell as they hear because they're auditory learners, okay? So they have to get this irregular word in. So we say, Daddy often eats sweets. And we put Daddy on a pile of sweeties and they colour it in. They cross out the way that sometimes they know the letters, but they have a sequencing problem. So they write a dose of medicine instead of does. So you've got, this helps children who have a sequencing problem, and it helps those who spell by sound. They put D for daddy, O for often, E for eats, and S for sweets, and so on. So that was another book, and it's got a game in the back. That will be online for you to download. Then I wrote a yellow book, a purple book, and a green book. And the green book it's a set of 3. I'll show you it's green. There you are. There's the green book. Okay. And here we have stories. And again, I am targeting every sort of learner. The child who can just look down a list and identify, in this case, they'll colour the and they, oh, I can spell those words, I know those words. Well, that's lovely, because you've been given that gift of that type of memory, so you're very lucky. Those children who learn by narrative, okay? The fat cat sat on the mat. Oh, he's got a bat. Oh, there we are. The fat cat with a bat in his hat sat with the rat on the mat. Okay, so there's the narrative. It's got a little bit of rhythm in it. And that's for the child who learns pictorially. So again, I have targeted every type of learner. So everyone is in with a chance, okay? So these books will be online again, as I've said, for you to download. There you are. Look, there's a very advanced one. I told you I would do starter, intermediate, and advanced. This one is pneumonia with a silent P. So that's an advanced one, okay? So you can see that it goes from the fat cat right up through. Now, as I've said to you, you've got the little picture story and so on. But you can also, and I think I'll start with fat cat again because that's very simple. There is a game that you can play, and here is the picture of it when you make it up. very simple to make. Again, you download 2 of these, 2 of those, just put it together, and it's called Landing on Your Planet, and the children seem to like it. And they cut out flying saucers, and it's a game of chance, and if you fill up your planet first, then obviously you've won. Now, this is the page. You get the child to identify the sound they're learning, which is ah, in this case. So you see they've coloured the ah, and then they cut these saucers out. And that also helps with their cutting out skills, because that's another thing, motor control, fine motor control and gross motor control. Fine motor control has to be developed. Then you can make them, here is the basics of it, a wheel of sound, okay? Again, you don't have to colour it in, but if you've got the baby to change and something to do, say colour it in. If they're not good at colouring in, they go over the edges there, doesn't matter, you can come along and trim it nicely. Now, what you do, there's the list that you're going to make the wheel with, and you get a little split pin. If you haven't got a split pin, just use paper clip, something like that. Just keep adapting. And here we go. The child will go around, okay? Mat, hat, bat, sat, cat. This will keep, if you've got a fiddle faddler, this will keep their hands occupied and make them concentrate. If they have poor concentration, that will make them concentrate, okay? And then they have the story that I've showed you. So they've got the game to play with those saucers. You can write little sentences if they don't know all the words, and develop their vocabulary and start making sentences. And you can dot, and they can copy over if they're learning to write. You have to adjust and adapt the whole time, okay? And as I said, patience is the way. Now, this, if you can be funny, children remember it. It's a bit naughty. They love it. If you can bring a little bit of naughtiness in. You see, I had a class and I had to teach them silent K. And it's difficult, really. No knowledge, all right, and knock on the door and knife and so on. Well, I decided I would bring in knickers. And you know, I didn't have any problem with the spelling list that week. They could all spell that. And here they are, there's the knight, and there he is. And he ends up with his knitted knickers round his knobbly knees. And when I said to them, I think the headmistress came in and actually said, well, what? Oh, you're doing the spellings. And I said, yes. I rubbed them off and we'll ask them how many words they can think of that begins with silent K. So hands up. Oh, yes, they all wanted to say the word. So the first one that came out, knickers. Yes, that's right. And they had, and they thought that was very funny. And we just went down the line, knickers, knife, knobbly, knees. Okay, that was the way. It was a perceptual anchor, if you can bring in something like that. Now, this is the last book I wrote, and it was a handbook for teachers and parents, and it is full, it's absolutely brimming, from start to finish, with pages and pages of flying saucer words. Okay, pages and pages of it. There they are up to politician, beautician, and so on. And at the end, and this will be there, are the parts of the game. It's a homemade game. Children, I don't think that when you're teaching at home, they expect to have a shiny box with a game arrive, with everything singing and dancing, and you make it at home. You use the back of the cornflakes box to strengthen it if you need, and so on. It's homemade, it's homespun, it's old-fashioned. I sold 20,000 of my books, and then my little cottage industry, I called it, was wiped out overnight because the government at that time, no names mentioned, brought in the national curriculum, and that is when most of the teachers my age, the really experienced ones, left, and that was that. So here we are, we go, there you are, there's the page, dog and log, there are the saucers, okay, and then you have the wheel. Right up at the other end we have politician, musician, as I said to you, there's the wheel that goes with it, and then there's the story page as well. And you get them to look up and see what the meaning is. Suspension. You know, say, what does suspension mean? Okay, we'll write suspension. Look up Bristol's suspension bridge and see if you can do a little drawing of that. That'll always remind you then, the light is suspended from the ceiling. Pull out everything you can from the situation, the vocabulary. Match it to your child's type of learning. Develop that. Go for it, okay? So I think I've told you, I have tried to be quick, but there's so much. I mean, that's why we go to college for so long. There's so much to learn. I have to tell you, though, I didn't learn any of that in college. I did all that myself, and with an extra course later on. So there you go. Good luck. Look out for me. I'm working away. I'm going to do the best I can as quickly as I can, and videos to explain. And we're going to be called Read Easy, Spell Well. Not so bothered about the spelling, because if you can get the reading going, okay, then they use predictive text and all that sort of thing, and if they can read, they can spot it and get the spelling. So that is not quite so critical now as it used to be, but keep that reading going little bit gently, little, okay? And take them up and their confidence will come, and then they can do self-learning and you can catch up, you know? So instill that sort of little bit of discipline, self-discipline, looking things up themselves. Look quickly, I've got to go and make the beds for a minute. You look this up, Google it if you like, whatever, and write about it. So the work will be up, okay, starter, intermediate and advanced, okay, and I promise you I'm going to try to get work in and do this as soon as possible. Now see, I'm almost into half an hour. It's unbelievable, isn't it? I'm going to get this put up on YouTube. It'll start on Facebook and you can look out for me, okay? And good luck. And I'm really concerned about literacy and children getting behind, but you mustn't be. You've got to get on with it there and make it happen. Make it happen, okay? And then when we've finished all this, you might find that you'd like to go to college for a few years and you'd like to take a class. I don't think you'd have to have 40 nowadays. I think you'd probably, I don't know, 30-ish. I'm not sure. So goodbye for the time. Bye. Good luck. Bye.